expert, Bunny.
I love it. Eventually we'll get our timing down
We'll
on
get it
that.
down.
I feel like there's just enough of a delay that probably half of your really awesome spiel gets chopped. But that's okay. Thank you for being here this morning. Happy Sunday. Welcome to the Bunny Show live. And thank you to Fort Worth for hanging out with me and being the best darn producer I've ever had. Which says a lot, right? With all of my producing experience. We're jumping right in. You guys know I don't do a whole lot of small talk. I just want to get to the purpose of the discussion, which today is based solely on a conversation that I started on Twitter. And I put up a question that I just knew, sometimes you just know that things are going to be good. And this has not disappointed. So the question was, what do you feel women are the least truthful about? We got a lot of answers. We got a lot of great answers. We got a lot of answers that we've actually discussed in previous podcasts as well, and even in the previous Bunny Show. But I wanted to go through, hey, church time, I love it. I wanted to go through this question, what do you feel women are least truthful about? And address the comments, address the answers, because there are so many good ones that I feel like there are things that can be justified, for lack of a better way of saying it, explained, and, just kind of making sure that you're not crazy for thinking that this is actually true and real. What they want in a man, yeah, that is definitely something that that women are untruthful about. So I'm just going to run through each of these answers. So, what are women least truthful about? Their hair color. I thought that was kind of a funny one to kind of clue in on first. But it's crazy true, because I'm telling you, during the pandemic, when girls couldn't get their hair done, I was shook to the core at how many women were gray that I did not realize were gray. Or I knew that they colored their hair or had their hair colored, but I didn't realize to the extent that they were already gray. I'm about to turn 45. And so a lot of my female friends are going gray. And I think of it as premature because I have excellent genetics, in all fairness, and no one in my family is gray. So I'm very thankful that this is just my hair color. But a lot of women are not that fortunate. And they don't want to be 40 years old and gray. But that also, I think that it also holds true for women who even are younger and aren't coloring their hair to cover up things, but they just kind of want to brighten things up or whatever. There are blonde women who have their hair colored blonde. It throws me off too. So I'm with you. I think that it's as much just for vanity so that they feel fresh. There's a factor involved where your hair actually fixes better when you're coloring it. I guess just enough damage is being done to your hair that it actually makes it hold style better. So that's actually one reason why I've actually heard women say that they color their hair. So that was a very long explanation for reasoning as to why women color their hair. And I hate that you feel like they're untruthful about it. I feel like women in particular love to brag that they're getting their hair colored. So I don't know. What do you feel women are the least truthful about? How they look in the morning when the lights come on. This one had to make me laugh, really, because above the age of, 19, girls start that sometimes slow, sometimes very fast and painful decline towards older age. and our skin isn't as great, our tone isn't as great, depending on the way she lives her life. You know, her genetics, her skin tone may not be all that great, and so she does do a lot of covering up whenever you see her, whenever you're out and about. But the way that she looks in the morning is surprising to even us. It surprises us the way we look in the morning also. But one thing that I have trouble conveying sometimes is that men and women are very different sides of the same species, right? We're both human, but aside from that, you know, our wiring is different, our emotions are different, our physical bodies are quite different. But although a lot of women have a more, especially younger, feminine facial structure, more delicate features, the bottom line is you're disturbed by seeing women without makeup in the mornings because you're used to seeing women with makeup. Even those who wear it very complimentary and don't do a lot of contouring or a lot of kind of stage makeup kind of setup, you're still used to seeing them with makeup. So it's shocking that in the mornings we look like human beings. And once we put makeup on and do our hair and put clothes on, then we look like feminine girls. So I'm sure that can be shocking, but trust me, the older we get, the more shocking it is to us too. So it's not great. Next, in line there with what men feel like women are least truthful about is their looks. And this guy said specifically, take off all that makeup and tell the truth, which kind of cracked me up. That was a little angry. Makeup is meant to complement, not cover up. It's not meant to change the structure of our faces. And yet, right now, we're definitely in a phase where women are using makeup as if they are on stage. So there's still the contouring. There's still a lot of kind of plays on the way that you can apply your makeup to make you look different, slimmer, more shapely, better bone structure. All of these things can be accomplished through the magic of makeup. But I am very pleased because although I still see a lot of that kind of extreme contouring, cutting makeup on social media, on TikTok, on Instagram, things like that, places where you would expect to still be seeing it. In person, I'm seeing it a lot less. I'm seeing a return to a more natural, just complimentary makeup style, which I'm thrilled about. Because there for a couple of years, I was seeing, you could see the fact that this stuff was painted on a face. So, you know, you'd see these hard, like dark lines on their faces where they think they're contouring, but it only really looks good in the screen of her phone, and it looks ridiculous in person. This is stage makeup. This is what, thankfully, I feel like there's a pendulum swing away from, and I'm thrilled about, because that's disturbing. CD just had great examples. Take her swimming. You know, that's a good idea. Although, in all fairness, a lot of makeup is also, you know, waterproof or at least water resistant. And then I like complimentary makeup. I agree with you. I like complimentary makeup that makes her feel more confident and more beautiful, but also just enhances her natural characteristics. What do you feel women are least truthful about? Other dudes in waiting. And I had a couple, of course, several answers that are similar to this. So I kind of want to read them all in a bit of a clump. How many men are in hiding? How many men they are banging? And how often they play both of them at the same time to get exactly what they want. They have the other guys than you. They have other guys. That's me. That's not this guy. They have other guys than you on the back burners, even when you're exclusive with them. And I think that this is a real common concern for men, because men are used to certainly running more than one woman at a time, having attention from more than one woman at a time. But there's also a real disconnect for men not to want to accept that women are often also doing the same thing. So whenever it's the man doing it, it's thought of as more upfront and honest, when maybe she doesn't even know that he's doing it. But when the women are doing it, it's much different. Just like I had a client just a few weeks ago who is notoriously always dating someone new. And it's the classic where she'll put up pictures with the new beau, and she's in a relationship on Facebook with him, and she's posting pictures about how much she adores him, and then he disappears and all of his pictures disappear. And then the next 2 weeks later, it's the same story with another dude who looks very similar but is not the same guy, over and over and over. For as long as we've only known her, for maybe 2 years, we've been training her. And I'm sure she's been through no fewer than 10 public boyfriends. And that doesn't even count the ones that were running in the background. There's always an ex-boyfriend, an ex-husband, a high school sweetheart, a friend who maybe she's just kind of been laying in wait to see if he would get single, get available, get interested. All kinds of men at the office, men everywhere that we go are essentially orbiting. So this is a fair concern to think that she is always being untruthful about the number of men who are running in the background at various levels. But something that she said was that the current boyfriend is still seeing other girls, but he was upset, just like this question, upset that she was still on dating apps, that she was still going on dates with other men. And she quite clearly said, you're wanting to bookshelf me, but I don't know that this is going to work out. This isn't a sure thing. You and I aren't moving anywhere serious. We're casually dating. So I think there gets to be a level of exclusivity where it's a clear conversation, or it just kind of narrows down to where you're the only one that you each are dating. But in the beginning, asking a girl to shelf herself when she really just genuinely doesn't have the time. Women have to act quickly, especially if they're still wanting to have children or have more children. So women don't have the time to truly date one man at a time. And so they will hide men from each other across the board until they've really got it pinned down. And I think, one of these guys says, they have other guys on the back burners even when you're exclusive with them. And maybe that doesn't mean that she's fucking the back burner guys. She's just keeping them kind of interested. It's just the way the game is played. Men play their games, women play theirs. What do you feel women are the least truthful about? Truth, I thought this was just a great comment. Truth is a masculine concept. Feminine energy is purely subjective. The bottom line is men operate under have to and facts and objectivity. Women operate under feelings and emotions and want to. So what they want to do, they'll do. What they need to do, they'll only do whenever they want to. So make no mistake that this is 1000% accurate. that truth is a masculine concept, which is why I ask of men, what do you feel women are the least honest about? Because you will certainly answer it, because you guys can discern this kind of thing and you expect it from the women that you're talking to. Because when a man is talking to another man, because you are men, because you exist in a world of objectivity and honesty and loyalty and truthfulness, you expect the female to answer in kind, but you think that you're talking to a man. The women will answer in a way that protects her safety from you being upset, protects her, the facade of morality that she has, and just protects her idea that you hold in your head of her. So it's all critical. Reality does not matter in girl world. What matters is your concept of her. So that is why you feel like she is less truthful. Well, that is why she is less truthful, but why you pick it out, because you are a man and you're used to being around truthful men giving you honest, straight up answers. What do you feel women are the least truthful about? Reality. And I feel like we focused on that just now. Owning their mistakes, big or small. 1000%. Girls notoriously do not own up to their mistakes. They will blame others for lots of things, but very rare is the woman who will take ownership of something that she's done or said wrong or misconstrued. Sometimes this is kind of one of those areas I would say that sometimes you just have to be okay with, because you know that's how it is. It's frustrating because men are notorious for taking extreme ownership for what they've done, what they're responsible for, and what they've accomplished or done and fallen on their faces over. So it's definitely a difference in our wiring and the way that we are just genetically predisposed, that females definitely are not good at owning mistakes, failures, big or small. So it could be something as simple as you catch her red-handed breaking a dish and she'll blame it on something else. I mean, it doesn't even matter. Females are notorious for stretching the truth, shall we say, about even things that are moot points, but then even more so about the big stuff. What do you feel women are the least truthful about? He says, I forgot who said it, but someone once said a woman's second favorite thing is sex. A woman's first favorite thing is pretending to be the kind of girl who doesn't like sex. And I think that this is 1000% accurate, because my true belief is that women were wired to enjoy sex. We have to enjoy sex in order to procreate, in order to want to have sex, in order to have children. You cannot convince me that in the beginning that women were supposed to dread sexual pleasure. No, we are created to enjoy sexual pleasure and to be in partnership and complement with the men that we're with. So, but I think that this is fascinating because we enjoy sexual pleasure. We do get trained from the earliest of ages to deny it, to be modest, to not give it up to everyone that comes along that we're attracted to. Hello, Fort Worth Playboy. Hello, Fort Worth Playboy's buddy. That's super cute. Good morning, Leandro. So we are wired to cover up our sexual interest. This is a double-edged sword, however, because we're able to bring this sexual energy to the surface whenever we are first locked in on a new man that we're dating or that we're seeing a future with. And there's a lot of sexual energy and a lot of sexual chemistry at that stage of relationship. But then, because of our upbringing, because of the way that we're taught and trained for modesty and to not be as sexually open, from fathers to grandmothers to mothers to big sisters, everyone teaches you as a female, as you're growing up, to be modest and to not have sex, essentially, but to especially not have sex with everyone that you're ever attracted to, for good reason. But then whenever you're in a relationship, once the kind of initial attraction phase dies down a little bit, and we talk about this a lot, where it's about that 12-week mark, about that 3-month mark of a new relationship, that her sexual interest starts to wane. And the reason for this is not because she doesn't enjoy sex, because like I said, women have to be created to enjoy sex. But it's so ingrained in our minds that sex is a dirty thing, even within the confines of a relationship or a sexual relationship or even a marriage. So that's where your frame comes in handy, because you have to, from the get-go, make it very clear that sex is a major part of your relationship and that it cannot wane. And then she genuinely enjoys it because she genuinely knows that you're bringing her pleasure and she's bringing it to you. Let's see. There's a lot of, what do you feel women are the least truthful about? Body count, sexual partners, her cock count. One guy says that he feels like cheating is essentially built in at this point. And that women are just uncomfortable talking about sex as a whole. Women do not want to talk about sex outside of the bedroom, outside of the actual act of it. And even then, they do not talk about it. They respond to it, which is why trying to have a conversation about, let's say after sex, let's say an hour after you have hot sex, if you try to go to your girl and be like, man, that move that you were doing with your tongue, or, ooh, you were losing your mind whenever I was doing that to you, she will back away from it. She has blinders on about it. She will say, that was you, that wasn't me, or I don't know what got into me, but she's clearly uncomfortable about it. Women cannot talk about sex. Women can only respond to sexual advances that turn her on. And she will respond to it. You have to push slowly and carefully, but she will slowly elevate to the level that you want her to be at, as long as you play the long game. But certainly, they don't like to talk about it outside of the bedroom or even inside the bedroom. Inside the bedroom, it's more like dirty talk in response to what you're doing, in response to your sexual cues and your leading. And that's where you need to be strong in the bedroom. And then outside of the bedroom, also make it clear that this is an important part of your life and that it's going to remain strong if she's going to stay in the picture. I thought this one was the good one. What do you think that women are least truthful about? And he said their weight. I think that this is fascinating. I think, number one, you're absolutely true, because women lie to themselves about their weight as much as they lie to you. You have to keep in mind, so many women are used to looking in their phones through a filtered lens on Snapchat, TikTok, even a lot of like Android phones have this built into their camera, where they automatically filter the look. In doing so, it narrows the jaw, it lengthens the face, it broadens the eyes, it makes the eyes bigger like a Disney character, it slims the nose, it exaggerates the cheekbones. All of these things are the way that most women are looking at themselves 24/7. So even if the number on the scale is higher than she thinks it should be, she is in complete denial about that. 99.9% of women can look at a scale and think it's a temporary thing because they're looking in the mirror or in the phone, at this completely contoured, filtered face, and they think that number can't possibly be true. So women are lying to themselves, and then they're lying to you, but at the same time, Fort Worth and I have a running joke where he says that all women in his mind are 100 pounds. And the problem is men have very little concept. We're in fitness. Of all people, Fort Worth should have a solid grasp on what women weigh. He should be within 3 pounds. And you are with men. You are with men. You're very accurate with men. But with women, it's as lost on him as it is the general population that doesn't deal with women's bodies and doesn't deal with weight issues and weight loss and fitness. But men have a very rough concept of what a woman's weight is or should be. So a number may sound extremely high or extremely low, but he doesn't really have a concept because women structurally are lighter. Women carry muscle differently. Women very often don't have a great muscle tone. So a woman could be very heavy, but look very thin because she has muscle. A woman could look very fat, but it's actually a little bit lighter weight than you expect because it's solid fat and not as much muscle. So just keeping that in mind, I think that women lie, number one, to themselves, and number two, to you about their weight, because it's just such a surreal concept. Better to talk about body fat percentage. I'm not even a fan of BMI unless you are not carrying any muscle weight whatsoever. BMI is such a terrible gauge of the health and your body composition. But body fat is something that's impossible to run from and impossible to lie about. So that's a much better number to look at than weight, in my opinion. Let's see. What do you feel women are the least truthful about? That they don't talk to their exes. I think that this is different also than that they're running their ex in the background, because women always have orbiters. And those orbiters, whether they're social circle, whether they've dated before, whether they've always just been friends at some level, maybe there's been attraction, but there's a lot of those scenarios where they kind of take turns back and forth, where when one person's single, the other one happens to be dating, or vice versa. And they just kind of bunny hop back and forth between those two. So oftentimes there are exes on social media, in the DMs, occasional tweet, occasional texts or phone calls, and oftentimes it's disguised as something innocuous. So, oh, I saw it was your mother's birthday. I hope she had a great day. Wish your mom happy Mother's Day. Oh, I saw that you hurt yourself. I hope you're okay. Things like that just kind of keep these people running in the background instead of eliminating them from your life. Much better to see that people are blocked, which seems extreme. That seems like a hateful thing to do, but it prevents the temptation of reaching out to people, seeing things that might spark interest in you, or seeing things that spark nostalgia. Because if they're talking to their exes, very soon, if they ever get back with them, they will remember why they're exes and not currently together. What do you feel women are the least truthful about? Let's see. Where am I in my little notes?
Their true intentions.
Oh, yeah. Their true intentions. The same with men. I think that we all go into relationships with our own agendas. You know, I think that girls are notorious for pretending that they aren't seeking a real relationship when really every girl goes into the next first date hoping it is her last first date. And if he asks, you know, what are you looking for? She's like, oh, just fun. You know, I just want to have fun. When really she's like, I'm hoping within a year we're engaged. I'm hoping within 2 years we're married. I'm hoping within 3 years we have kids. She's, you know, laying all of this on the line in hopes that it hooks you and that you can then follow her timeline that she has in mind for you. So men are the same. You know, you have your own true intentions, your own ideas about what you'd like to see versus what is happening in front of you. And then you just kind of hope you find someone where it blends well enough that your intentions kind of ebb and flow together. There is one that we skipped, but the lie that I never sleep with a guy on the first date. What do you feel women are least truthful about? This line that I never sleep with a guy on the first date, which is a good one. And everyone says it. I think that it's always like, oh, that never happens. I can't believe we just had sex. I'm so embarrassed. That's so unlike me. That's so out of character. Again, we do not want to, women as a whole are trained that we do not want you to think that we are sluts. We, you know, want to prevent you from having any kind of negative connotations about us. And it is a catch-22 because, you know, men want to be a woman's first, but women want to be, you know, a man's last. There's, you want the virgin, but at the same time, you want her to sleep with you on the first date. There's a real rub that happens in men's minds about women's sexuality around this exact topic because you want her to be easy enough to sleep with you. You're pushing for a quick fuck, sex first, relationship later, maybe, but if she's done it with you, very strong likelihood is, she's done it with others. So if you have sex with her on the first date or very quickly, then getting upset that maybe that's happened before, that's kind of, I hate to say this, but that's kind of on you, buddy. I mean, it's a rub that mentally men need to get past, because if you want to have sex with her on the first date or first meet up or early in the relationship, so to speak, before you really know a person, you know, then you have to just be okay with the fact that it's happened before. What do you feel women are the least truthful about? Women hide traumas. I think this is a very good one. Women hide traumas, are terrible at healing. And then he lists a couple of drugs, I guess, that are prescribed for women. I can't actually pronounce them, but essentially they hide trauma, they're terrible at healing, and they're over-medicated. 1000% across the board. Yes, yes, yes. Women are great at giving lip service to self-help, but are terrible at actually following the guidelines required to get beyond the trauma. And trauma is a broad term in the way that I'm using it right now, because especially in current times, it feels like everything is trauma, where really it's parenting, or really it's breakup, or really it's not, you know, your kid not falling in line with the way that you think the childhood's going to be, or really it's losing a job. Really, it's normal stuff that any more human nature is to not handle very well and to kind of label things more traumatically than they are. But it's a learning experience. But men are great at saying, I have this problem. I need to get it fixed. It's ruining my life. I'm going to take this step to fix it. And then I'm going to take all the subsequent steps to fix and fix and fix and just continue until things are either better or I've destroyed myself. This is the men's concept of healing trauma, where women will read books and they'll give lip service and they'll meditate and they won't take steps to do it. So women are great at the front end stuff. Men are great at the back end stuff, I would say, the steps and the action taking. Men are action takers. Women are not. And that is why we are terrible at healing trauma. And let me add, women also enjoy the drama of the trauma. So if you heal the trauma, you can't live your life in the emotional roller coaster that this kind of damage has done. You can't, and we're terrible at taking ownership, like we talked about earlier. So women love the drama of trauma, which is another reason why they just give lip service to the self-help and the self-healing. Let's see. What do you feel women are the least truthful about? Whenever they promise to do something forever. This is a sweet concept, but men and women both are incredibly guilty of, and let me add to that the next one, which is holding back from saying I love you when they genuinely do. The second part, saying I love you when they don't really mean it. All three of these answers were very sweet. But the bottom line is, whenever a woman says, I love you, whenever a woman says, I'm going to do this forever, I'm going to love you forever, I will never divorce you, they mean it in that moment. They mean it right now. So when she says, I love you, know that she's actually saying, I love you right now. If she says, I'm going to love you forever, she means, I'm going to love you forever as of right now. If everything in our world remains exactly as it is right now, I will love you forever. Which is why I've always said, and it bears repeating, that whenever the times are tough, that's what really reveals the truth in your relationship. If a woman, or a man for that matter, but if a woman can say, we're in the depths, we're in the pit right now, this sucks, every day sucks, we're not getting along, this is happening, this is falling apart, whatever it is, whether it's a health concern, whether it's financial stress, whether it's family distress, whether it's job related, whatever the problem is, if you can say at the worst of it, if the rest of my life is exactly like this, and I still want to be with this person, then that's a good person to stay with. Because then, oftentimes, those low points are low points. They don't last forever. More times than not, the bad times don't last. So if you can stick it out with someone that you're with and you still love them through it, or at least still enjoy being around them, at least still like them, that's a really strong indicator of relationship success. But for the most part, when people are saying, I love you, I respect you, I'll love you forever, I'll do this forever, what they mean is, you're at a high point. You're at a peak. You're not in a valley. So right now, I will love you forever if everything stays exactly as it is in this moment. So just keep that in mind anytime anyone, but especially women, are promising forever. or promising to do something forever, and just take that for what it's worth. Appreciate the fact that that indicates that you're at a peak right then, that you're having a really good day, that you're having a really good moment. Appreciate that for what it is and enjoy it. Just don't put too much weight into it. Whenever she says that kind of thing at the low points, when you've been dragged through the mud for days or weeks or months or years, and she's still saying that, that's a pretty good indicator that she actually means it. That's like, this is about a man saying it, not a woman. But I was dating someone, and he said, every Mother's Day, I'm going to wish you a happy Mother's Day, whether we're together or not, for the rest of your life. And I immediately went, why would you do that? That's a ridiculous thing to even say. Like, that doesn't even make sense. So it's best to just not promise things on both sides of the fence. Just don't promise to do anything forever, because you don't know what tomorrow holds. You don't know if it's even likely that doing that thing or saying that thing or feeling that way will even apply beyond today. I love this. So that was all of those comments, all of those answers to the question, what do you feel women are the least truthful about? All of those responses were from men. But we also got a couple from women, which I really loved that there were some women who jumped in as well, because this is fascinating because it's self-reporting. So it's always interesting when women are self-reporting answers, because there's always truth to it, but there's always a truth with a little tilt. You know, there's still some intentionality behind that, and something that's behind the curtain that's the reason that they're saying this specific thing. So that's why I find it truly fascinating when women answer this kind of question. So, answers from women to what do you feel women are least truthful about? Our own desires, but it's not intentional, I don't think. I love that there was the caveat, you know, women don't know what their desires are long term, period. Boss babes will give lip service to it. Most like high-powered, intentionally focused women, we have a motorcycle race going on outside if you can hear it, I apologize. Most women will give lip service to intentional living and having long-range goals and plans, but genuinely, as soon as the first hiccup comes up, the first hurdle, it's too much, it overcomes them, all plans go out the window, and it's no longer a factor. So women do not know what their desires are beyond right now, beyond the moment they're living in. When they're saying it, women don't know what their desires are. Women don't know what their plans are or their intentions. And if they say they do, they are lying. I mean, they believe it. It's like the I love you. They believe it in that moment, but the first hurdle that comes up, you know, it all falls away. So long range planning and actually acting on that and following through is a masculine trait. It's something that men do that women very rarely can accomplish. Something that women are untruthful about, their concerns. This was a female answer. She says their concerns. And I feel like this could go either way. I'm not 1000% sure whether she's talking about when they're not truthful about their own concerns, or they're not truthful about being concerned about his concerns. I think both apply, because they're not concerned about either one of them. So first of all, women are not truthful about their own concerns, oftentimes because if they share those concerns with their man, they know that it will upset him. And women at our core need to be safety driven. We need to be safety conscious and aware. So things that will upset our man could potentially be dangerous for us. This is true across the board, whether you're like a scary dude or a normal guy. This is not saying that you're about to strangle your wife. It just means we have to be safety conscious. So a lot of times when women have concerns, she genuinely is afraid to share them outright, directly. Women are also afraid or untruthful about their men's concerns. Like we talk about, girls get run under the bus for this, that women don't really care about what's bothering you, that women really don't care about what men's struggles are. It's because we genuinely cannot wrap our heads around them. We have such different lives and such different wiring that we genuinely cannot wrap our heads around what your concerns are and the weight of them. So often I'll have girlfriends who complain about their husbands, not spending enough time with them or being cranky whenever they come home from work or whatnot. And I remind them that, number one, he just worked his ass off. He just worked a 16-hour day and it's a business that he owns, and all the stresses and all the employees and all the bills and all the everything are on his shoulders. So maybe you should give him a little bit of a break, but that she still has no concept of what he's really struggling with. So maybe to give him a little bit of a break yet again, maybe a blowjob. I thought this one was funny. So the things that women are least truthful about, a woman answered how many Amazon orders I place and how much certain things cost. And we talked about this in the broadcast a few weeks ago, and I love it because it's absolutely true. Women will lie up and down about what things cost and what we spend on things, from hairdressers to nails to makeup to Amazon purchases to clothing to how much we spend on coffee every day. We are not truthful about it. And the last answer I got, also from a female, I think this one's pretty funny. She says that that women are untruthful about climaxing. She says 95% of the time we fake it. Part of me would love to believe that, because at least then she's putting in an effort that she wants him to be happy, satisfied, feel like he's done a good job. And granted, later on in relationships, I would say that that's also because she's ready for him to be done, because, the next episode of Yellowstone's coming on or something goofy like that. But I would say that women want to fluff your ego. And I would also say that most faking orgasm comes at the very beginning of relationships, because women are a little bit more turned on by connection. And the whole time she's having first time sex with someone, a lot of times in her mind, she's going, I shouldn't be doing this. This is slutty. I should, so we've got like cock blocks going on in our brains, keeping us from fully just enjoying the experience and pleasure of sex. So I feel like faking orgasm is a real struggle and a real thing that women do. But at the same time, if she's faking it with you, the best thing I can tell you is to take it as a compliment and keep fucking her like it's your last fucking hers. And pretty soon those orgasms will not be fake. So that is all the responses that we got on Twitter to the question. But now I know that we also have been getting some great questions from the DMs and from the chatterbox. So I'm really excited for what's to come.
What they want in a man, like their requirements, I would say, or what their desires in a man are.
That's a good question. So I believe that women think they want one thing, they respond viscerally through their vaginas to another thing. And I think that women approach dating and relationships and expectations like they do a job. So they'll kind of have a checklist of things that they think that they need, but at the same time, that checklist often goes out the window when they actually are attracted to a man that they're with. So then their expectations, their list of desires, their list of demands tweaks so that he's included. So if she's holding true to a list of demands that you don't meet, that's only an indicator that she's not that interested in you. The best idea to save your own sanity, time, and ego is to next her. I mean, honest to God, if she's giving you reasons or she's giving you indicators that you do not meet her standards, her expectations, and that you're not enough for her, you're not going to be enough for her. So, first of all, yes, women definitely are not truthful about their demands because their demands shift depending on the man that is in front of them. But also know that if they're not bending for you, you need to take that as an indication that you need to exit stage left.
You ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Jay Smith asks, and this is I think he's going to be surprised at the answer.
Ooh.
I have a question. So basically, I'm a male in nursing school. I talk to all the women, not necessarily in a romantic way. I'm just very social. Most of them think I'm handsome, but some try to start creepy rumors. Why is this?
Oh, good. Okay. And didn't we talk to Jay about his nursing school rotation girls a few weeks ago? I'm pretty sure. So girls, and okay, I have to tell on myself here. Fort Worth laughs and makes fun of me and teases me all the time because anytime another woman is essentially mentioned that he's dated or been married to or any of this, inevitably my response is, I don't know how you ever dated her, or man, she looks like hell, or she hasn't aged well at all, or man, she is just a bitch. Like, inevitably, I have to make some comment cutting her, this woman that I probably don't even know, to him. Because women have to protect our place in your life. We have to protect that at every cost. And I would say that that's true even if we're not together anymore. I would say that's even true, I would say exes will often, the wife will be like, well, you're never going to get as good as me. I mean, just look at who you're dating now, or something along those lines. But Jay, what you're dealing with is 1000% normal, because even good friends, theoretical good girlfriends, will cut each other down behind each other's backs to protect their position with you. So if a girl, whether you are dating her or just friendly with her, is cutting another girl down to you, it means that she wants to protect her place with you, and she wants to be at a higher level in your mind with you than this other person is. So take it as a great compliment that she wants to make sure that you have a negative view on other women, but a positive view on her. Would you add anything to that? Can you think of anything? Okay. So, do we have any other questions?
I'm 66. My sex drive is low due to age.
Yeah.
Should I even bother to date?
Oh, yes. The best kind of way to improve your sex drive is to get a new hot young girlfriend. I mean, it's like hot young girlfriends are nature's Viagra. I feel like, number one, if you're 66 years old and your libido is naturally just lowering, number one, get checked out. Get testosterone. Have hormone replacement therapy if you're comfortable with it. But get your blood work done. Go to the doctor and get a physical and actually figure out if there's something that's going on medically with you. Men are notorious for not wanting to do this because, just like you always say, you don't want to find anything else wrong. But the first step is make sure that you couldn't increase it just naturally just by kind of balancing your hormone levels. 2, if you're dating and if you're excited about her, the likelihood is your sex drive will return to some level. Now, you may not feel 19 again, but that's okay because your girlfriend at 66 may be 46 on the low end and she may be 62 on the high end. So she may not want to fuck like a porn star every moment of every day either. But make no mistake that taking yourself out of the dating market just because of your age and your current kind of sexual interest is a terrible idea. You were not given these sexy parts to not use them. And so I suggest getting yourself out there, hitting the gym, because that helps your testosterone levels, that helps your libido, that helps your self-confidence, and it just helps you feel better and move better, and therefore you're going to have more sexual interest and sexual confidence. And improve your style. When you feel better, you look better, you behave better, you carry yourself better, and you attract more women that are truly interested in you and that spark your sexual desire. So I want to encourage you to not take yourself off the market just because of your age and current sexual desire level. Next.
Last question. It's a big one, but it's not involved. It's just I'll walk through it.
Okay.
I have a problem. I've been in a relationship for almost 8 months and I don't want my girlfriend enough. And that means the sex isn't good at my level, even if I give her orgasms every time we have sex.
Yeah.
To compensate for my desire, which is not fulfilled with her, I masturbate and frequent paid escorts. I don't want to leave my girlfriend just because of the sex, because we have a very strong connection. Thanks to her, I founded my company. She motivates me, manages my agenda, and works for me. I don't know what to do because if I can find another girl who will please me physically, but who will be of no use to me in my professional life, should I let my current girl go?
That is a major, major question. I'm going to say, so he's got a girlfriend of 8 months. Because of her, she's motivated him to start a successful business. He's doing well business-wise and financially. She also works for this business. You know, she's heavily involved with the business. They've got a great connection, but the bottom line is in the bedroom, they are lacking. It sounds like she orgasms, so she's, actively involved. He just isn't as satisfied as he would like to be with their sexual relationship. So therefore, he's masturbating and going to prostitutes. I would suggest leaving this girl now, because the bottom line here is that say you continue with this girl, it's going to be so much less destructive for your life and your business if you break up with her on the front end. So the fact that she's essentially the office manager of your life is not sexy. It's not a reason to stay together. And later in life, as your business continues to be more successful, as you accumulate more wealth and freedom and independence, and as she becomes more and more ingrained in the business and in you and in your life, if you break up with her then for this same reason, that you're just not sexually satisfied, she's going to burn your shit to the ground. She's going to take no prisoners. She's going to be deeply hurt. And at the crux of it, if you know it's not working, you're actually wasting her time. You're wasting valuable time that she could be spending with someone who is sexually satisfied with her, and she's able to help him grow his life. She's helped get you where you need to be to move forward. If you're in this situation, enjoy that. That doesn't mean that she needs to be around forever or that you'd enjoy her being around forever. Masturbating is one key. Visiting prostitutes or cheating in any way, shape, or form is another, because that just is wrought with setting you up for failure. And then she'll burn your shit to the ground then with gusto. So it's just a bad situation to be in, to not be sexually satisfied when it sounds like she's actually giving of herself sexually. It sounds like she's open to a strong sexual relationship. It's just not enough for the man who's asking the question. And for that reason, I say, don't allow the business relationship to keep you in a bad relationship sexually, because it's just not worth it. And it's better to cut it off right now than wait until there's a big blow up. So I hope that answers. Are there any other questions? It looks like there's something coming through the DM. Do you want me to wait for that?
No, we'll cover it. We'll cover it
in
yeah.
Another. Okay, awesome. I hope that you have enjoyed this question answer, this long explanation, and I really had a lot of fun digging into all of the answers to the question, what are women least truthful about? It was insightful for me. It was fun to hear all the answers that men and some women give as well, and to help discern from a girl brain perspective what is going on when women are not truthful about this. So I hope that this has been a great help to you as well, and has helped, just kind of give you a little bit of extra insight. Because when you, as a man, have great insight into women and the way that we think and the way that we operate and the reasons that we do the things that we do, then it helps you better be a man who just gets it. And men who just get it are the upper echelon man who can get any girl that they want. And it applies across the board. Being able to understand and read women better applies in business scenarios. It applies with your mother and your sisters and every female that you come in contact with. So make no mistake, it's beneficial whether and don't just apply it to the girl you're sleeping with. Apply it to everyone. Whew! If you like my content, I have a couple of things that I want to lift up to you before we go. Number one, my VIP subscription newsletter. It used to be called All Access, so now it's VIP. It is a paid $9 a month, long form, deep dive content newsletter from me to you, explaining a lot of the same kinds of things that we talk about on this live broadcast. It is not only sharing the rules of game and attraction and relationship with you, but telling you why they work and how best to maximize them for your highest quality of life and relationship happiness. Number two, I'm on Patreon now because I get a lot of requests for kind of just seeing behind the curtain a little bit more. And it's just a fun way to share goofy stuff that I do in my downtime and do, you know, kind of behind the scenes stuff. So it's a lot more like the personal side, the workout stuff, the food stuff, all of the stuff that makes me me in my personal life. So it is also $9 a month, but it is over on Patreon. Everything is under My Playboy's Bunny. And so if that kind of thing interests you, I invite you to join that Patreon community because it's first look at videos, but it's also just kind of like snapshots from my daily life. So it's just kind of a fun place to be. It's very lighthearted and low key. Third, I also have a free newsletter. It is called the Bunny Report, and I invite you to sign up for that free weekly newsletter. It's a light topic that I dive a little bit deeper in so that you'll have a better understanding. But for those who maybe it's not in your time or your money or importance budget to be on any kind of paid subscription list, it's a great alternative for a weekly newsletter from me. So thank you so much for joining this broadcast and every broadcast. I love how communicative you all are. I love that you get in there and you talk to one another and you talk to us. You ask great questions. Keep them coming. Even when the broadcast ends, I hope that you will comment down below with more questions. This is a weekly event every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Bunny Church, come and hear me preach. Thank you so much, and thank you to Fort Worth, as always, for making me look good, for being the best producer I've ever had in my entire life, and for being my partner in crime. But we appreciate you tuning in, and we will see you next time. Now you get to watch me fumble to turn this off for the next minute. Have a great day.